Shalom, shalom. I hope you all are doing well. I'm blessed and I'm back again with a quick video. We have but a short time, Israel, before we're gathered from the four corners of the earth. We're going to come out from the lands of our captivity and out of the cities and countries where we have been scattered, and once again go into the wilderness. The Exodus will not begin from the land of Egypt this time, but from every nation. A physical departure, men, women, and children will leave behind Babylon's comforts. Jeremiah chapter 16 verses 14 through 15 reads, "Therefore behold, the days come, said Yahuwah, that it shall no more be said, Yahuwah lived that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But Yahuwah lived that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands where he had driven them, and I will bring them again into the land that I gave to their fathers." But how do we know for sure that these verses are talking about a second Exodus and not the first? Let's examine this. Let's start in verse 14, where it says, "Therefore behold, the days come, said Yahuwah, that it shall no more be said, Yahuwah lived that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, that it shall no more be said." So it's clearly referencing the first Exodus. This is a miraculous deliverance from the land of Egypt by Moses. That event was so significant it became the foundation of Israel's identity. And this is basically how everyone remembers Yahuwah's power. Not just Israel, but anyone who reads the Bible can identify this as Yahuwah's power. But this verse says that people will stop saying that, not because it won't matter anymore, but because something even greater is going to happen. And then verse 15 says, "But Yahuwah lived that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north and from all the lands where he had driven them. And I will bring them again into their land that I gave to their fathers." This is the new Exodus, greater than the first, because it's not just from one country, Egypt, but from all the lands where Israel was scattered. Yahuwah is going to deliver his people again, but this time it's going to be a massive regathering. This can only be understood as a second Exodus because it mirrors the first. Same Elohim acting in his power. Same people being gathered. Same covenant purpose to bring Israel back to the land he promised. But this time it's on a global scale, not just one nation. Let's take a look at Isaiah chapter 11 verses 11 through 12. It reads, "And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahuwah shall set his hand again, the second time, to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather them, the dispersed of Yehudah, from the four corners of the earth. And gather together the dispersed of Yehudah from the four corners of the earth." Many of the tribes fled into Africa after the Assyrian and Babylonian captivities. 2 Esdras chapter 13, 40 through 46 talks about a journey to a land never before inhabited. Josephus also wrote that the 10 tribes were beyond the Euphrates, numerous and not easily accessed, pointing towards Africa. Now there's other biblical and historical information that would help support this claim and back it up, but let's go back to Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 12, where it says, "And gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth." Now if you read 2 Kings chapter 17, you'll find that the 10 tribes of Israel, or the house of Israel, were taken by Assyria into captivity. But the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and some of the Levites remained in the land longer. So when you look at 2 Kings chapter 17 and 19, you'll see that Judah eventually fell. It reads, "Also Judah kept not the commandments of Yahuwah Elohim, but walked in the statutes of Israel which they made." So Yehudah should have learned from Israel's fall, but instead they disobeyed the Most High too, and they broke the covenant. So Yehudah was eventually scattered to the four corners of the earth and the islands. If you want to read more about the separation of the house of Israel and the house of Judah, I have some information here on the screen for you to reference. Otherwise, I think that we have, enough information right now to understand Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 12, as I'd like to read it again now. It reads, "And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Yehudah from the four corners of the earth." Okay, so now I need to begin to tie in some things because you may not understand why I needed to kind of briefly go over the separation of the two houses. Judah being the outcast of Israel and scattered to the four corners of the earth, we became colonized, enslaved, and forgotten, our language taken, our name stripped, and our identity erased. But Yah hasn't forgotten us. Although the house of Judah was the last to go into captivity, Yah appointed us to be the first to rise. Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 7 reads, "Yahuwah also shall save the tents of Yehudah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Yehudah." The tents of Yehudah in this verse speaks to the fact that Yehudah is scattered in an unsettled condition. Yehudah living in tents symbolizes the exile, captivity, or a non-permanent state. So here where it says in verse 7, "Yahuwah also shall save the tents of Judah first," he's making it very clear that Yehudah will be delivered before the other tribes. And then the meaning of the part that says that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Yehudah. That means Yah is making sure that no tribe or group can boast or think that their salvation was more important than Yehudah's. This means that there's a prophetic order, and the awakening of Israel follows a pattern. Yehudah is first to wake up in the last days. I want you all to listen closely to this. This is very important. This is why I'm telling you about the two houses. Yehudah is a witness to the world. We're going to represent Yah publicly, even in exile. Because when Yehudah wakes up, it becomes a sign to the nations that the time of restoration has begun. I'm going to say that again. Yehudah represents Yah publicly, even though we're in exile. When we wake up, it becomes a sign to the world that the time of restoration has begun. Many of you already know that our tribe have spiritual authority because Yehudah carried the scepter, meaning kingship and leadership was given to the tribe of Yehudah, and Yah honors this by letting us be saved first. Now, this is not about favoritism, family, but Yah's divine order and keeping the covenant with both houses of Israel. Let's talk about the spiritual weight of Yehudah. You see, Judah's not just a tribe. The kings came from the tribe of Yehudah. The Messiah was prophesied to come through the tribe of Yehudah. The tribe of Judah is the lawgiver. We carry the scepter of rulership. So naturally, when Judah sinned, the fall hit differently. It wasn't just disobedience. It was a nation with spiritual authority breaking the covenant. Judah was sent into deep captivity, Babylon first, then later Rome, and eventually scattered to the four corners of the earth by way of the transatlantic slave trade and beyond. And family, you need to understand that this wasn't by accident. And the ones who would one day rise up and lead the regathering had to be humbled first, broken first, stripped down to nothing, so that when we do rise, it would be clear only Yah could awaken us. We see this in Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 11, where it says, "Then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, Our bones are dried, and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts." But what happens after this, only Yahuwah could do it. The wind came, and the Spirit moved. The bones stood up, a mighty army. And this is happening right now, family. But the bones that are standing up first is the house of Judah. Because Judah was broken last, Judah will be restored first. And this is the order of restoration. The Most High does things in order. Because Judah will lead the restoration. When Judah wakes up, the other tribes will take notice. Judah's awakening is the signal that the Most High's hand is moving. It confirms prophecy. It invites the other tribes to remember who they are. You see, Judah is the signal tribe. In Yah's divine order, Judah is always first. First into battle. First to camp eastward before the tabernacle. First to step forward when the trumpet sounds. Judah's awakening is not random. It is the signal. The sign that Yah's hand is moving again. Genesis 49 and 10 says, "The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be." And unto him shall the gathering of the people be. Because Judah is the war cry, the praise, and the royal line, the scepter tribe. When Judah rises, it stirs the whole body. The bones begin to rattle. The other tribes remember. The house begins to stand. Let me ask you all a question. Do you think that it's a coincidence that people all over the world who descend from the transatlantic slave trade, who never knew their true name, are rising up and claiming the identity as Judah? This is not rebellion. This is prophecy. Let's read 1 Baruch chapter 2 verses 29 through 34. It reads, "If ye will not hear my voice, surely this very multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations, where I will scatter them. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves, and they shall know that I am Yahuwah Elohim. For I will give them a heart and ears to hear, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before Yahuwah. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be Adonim of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished." So as you see, this prophecy indicates that we're going to be returning to the Most High in the land of our captivity. Do you all see that happening right now? Do you all see that we're calling on the Most High's true name, returning to the Torah? All over the world, you see the tribe of Yehudah wearing their fringes and keeping the Sabbath. We're restoring our families and calling ourselves Judah. This is not a trend, family. It's a movement from heaven. I don't think you understand what I'm saying. When Yah stretches out his hand, nothing can stop it. Judah's awakening means the gathering is near. It means the time of the Gentiles is ending. It means the wilderness journey is about to begin. You guys got to understand this spiritually. They know that the tribe of Judah is the Most High's timepiece. So they try to hide us behind baby mamas, pimps, drug dealers, sports jerseys, rap contracts, welfare lines, broken homes, violence, vanity, vain traditions, etc., etc. They dress Judah up in chains, and distracted by shine, they forget their lineage. They bury royalty under reality shows and trap beats. They crown them with the curses, but fear the day that Judah stands on their feet. They fear the roar of the lion. So they flood the den with lies and wars. Because when Judah remembers, Israel rises, and no more can they sell our truth in disguises. Let's keep going. They try to hide Judah behind fast money and slow death, behind strip clubs, scandals, and what's left of our people once crowned with righteous fire, now sold for fame to the highest buyer. They flood the schools with misinformation, erase our history and call it education. They label us early, discipline us harder, and push us out before we even know who we are. They make idols of our pain and profit from our struggle. They hand out contracts with hidden chains and call it freedom. They force us to chase images we didn't create, to believe we're nothing more than what we project. But Judah was never made for survival. Judah was made for dominion. When Judah remembers, the lies unravel. When Judah stands, the world feels it. And that's why they fight so hard to keep Judah asleep. Watch Judah, because Judah is rising. The trumpet has sounded, and Yah's hand is moving. The wilderness is ready, and the gathering has begun. This is no longer time to wait. This is time to move, to follow Judah, and to follow Yah. The time is now, family. This is a call not to just Israel, but to all people to repent and come out of Babylon, align with the Most High, the Elohim of Israel. Because when Judah rises, the earth shifts. The kingdom draws near, and every nation must choose a side. Thank you all for listening, and thank you all for your continued support. May the Most High bless all of you who are deserving. And remember Matthew chapter 24 and verse 13. He that endures unto the end, the same shall be saved. And until my next video, Shalom.